think she hit everybody on the way out. All right, call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we go on to the consent agenda, just on behalf of the board, I'd like to send condolences to Roger and his family on the loss of his mother. Consent agenda, the recommended action is to approve the following items which are included in the consent agenda. 5A, the minutes from the April 2nd, 2019 meeting. Is that true? No. April...
Is that what it says?
No, that's what I came up with. So it's from
April
the last
23rd.
April 23rd meeting. Thank you. 7C, installment of copier purchase resolution. 7F, policy second read and adoption. 7G, AV reductions. 7H, bank resolution adding signatory, and 7I, the special education. Would anybody like any of those removed, or what's that? If not, may I have a motion?
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff. Second.
Yes.
Thank you, Dan. And we'll be voting. And we have 6, 4, 0 against. Good of the cause. We have no one here unless anybody from the board would like to speak. On to 3A, which is the budget status report. Dana, it's all yours.
Sure. Well, you'll see we're still on track. Not a lot of differences between last month and this month with respect to our revenue. On track from last year, 94%, 94.02 versus 94.10% with our revenue collection. So in that regard, there's not really much more to report there. We should see next month, April 1st, we did collect our outstanding property tax from the county, but that will be reflected in next month's meeting. Just like with expenditures, we're right on par. We're not spending more than what we have, which is always a good thing in that regard. So we are tracking normally. If you go back, kind of want to highlight something quickly. If you go to the third page, you'll see it's a different format for the reports. We've just upgraded our management system to Envision. We had FM. We've just rolled over. They spent the first 3 days last week basically putting it together. Envision is it's the upgraded version of FM. So basically everything just got rolled over, different formatting. We're finding it to be very more user-friendly in terms of drilling down and stuff like that. So going forward, this is what you'll see when I generate a report directly out of Envision. Thus far, no major hiccups with regards to the transition. And it didn't cost anymore.
Perfect.
Well, they're doing away with FM. So we had about a year to make the switch to something, and FM was going away. So we went with the Envision that keeps all of our data. So that was a big sell.
Any questions on the budget? Treasurer's report.
Same thing here. Look at ending available cash balance, about $10 million. Only about $44,000 in terms of outstanding checks. The fact that when you look at it, March was a relatively quiet month. Again, everything is moving smoothly. There are no really large outstanding checks there, no big ones. What we'll probably see as the get closer, some of our reserve accounts will make adjustments there. We haven't moved the money out of the reserve account for capital projects. We just paid that out of our general fund, and so you'll see in that, in those accounts there, that will get adjusted, just like EBLAR. We'll make some slightly adjustments there to kind of balance the books towards the end of the year for some of the retirees that we have. But otherwise, things are going smoothly in terms of our bank reconciliation.
Any questions on the treasurer's report? Superintendent's report, obviously, Andy's not here. Did he leave anything for you, Karen?
No.
Okay, information for the board. 3 items under here, the superintendent eval. Everyone can now start putting in their comments in the super eval. Roger has finished his, so now it's our turn. Any more on that? No.
What's our deadline?
Yeah, what's your deadline?
If you go on in there, it's the 31st
31st.
of May.
Okay.
15th of May.
I see what you did there.
The extracurricular activities balance sheet is there for your viewing. And the Adirondack Ed Center year-end celebrations are listed there as well, and the letter from Rick Swanston is
I added, just as information, the North Country School agreement regarding the composter.
okay.
It'll be up for vote at a future date.
And that, we have decided next meeting to receive an update from
I believe Tammy's coming on the 14th.
14th, okay. Good. Any questions on the information? Okay, linking goals with the agenda. Anybody have anything? Very quiet in here.
Yeah, I didn't do it this time, I was,
Oh, Jeff,
otherwise,
relying
Yeah,
on you.
I know.
It's a long night.
All right, well, we'll move on.
There really isn't much on there that.
Nothing
that
really
jumps
new,
out, yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Karen, did you send out your file to everyone, or with the goals?
No, I'm gonna update it, because
Okay.
I cross-referenced what you sent me, and there's
Okay.
a few that I didn't get.
Okay, we do have a couple that we need addressing
Yes.
before the end of the year, but other than that, I think
I'll
we're.
put it on for the next one.
Okay, we're in really decent shape with meeting all of our goals, so, thank you.
Good.
Capital project update, this was brought up last meeting. There's the extension for the deadline of the contractors submit their bids is now Monday, May 6th. It is a Monday, I believe.
Yep.
At 1:30 right here, so if anybody's interested in
Public
attending.
meeting.
We've just not gotten enough bids or.
What I understand is some potential bidders reached out to Mosaic and their schoolhouse construction, asking if it could be extended so that they could, put together a more detailed or a clearer price.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
Callie said that it wouldn't change in terms of start dates or anything like that, because a lot of that has kind of been pushed back to later in the summer, early fall, and a good portion are really looking more at next year
Yeah.
as opposed to this year. So they thought it was, again, a sign that pushing it back, we might get us a few more bid proposals.
Great.
And better prices.
Right, and better pricing, yep, everything got pushed back in hopes that, yep, yeah, and that's what they were kind of hearing. You know, they gave an example of a kind of a local place out of Plattsburgh, didn't realize it got extended and said, oh, maybe we'll reconsider and put in a bid.
Mhm.
Yeah, a contractor that has done work here in the past.
Great.
So, yeah, looks positive.
How long do you expect that meeting to be?
An hour,
Is that about an
what
hour?
Callie said.
Yeah, I mean, what they do is they read through all the bids. I mean, not in detail, but they basically have the formula, you know, they name the company, here's their price, you know, and there's a couple categories they fill out, and then so it all, you know, all based on the number of bids that end up showing up. It's interesting because they will walk in under the last minute and give their bid, kind of like
Mhm.
waiting, out in the parking lot, see who's showing up, and then walk in and give their bid, yeah.
And then I think on the 14th, you're gonna be approving all the bids, all the contracts.
Yeah. After that, I think once that's determined and the lowest one, I think Cali and Mosaic, they will then go through and to verify that that low bid did cover all of the things that has been asked before, you know, we'll say certifying, but basically say, yes, this is truly the low bid and they've met all of the requirements.
Any other questions on the bids? If not, we'll move on to the minutes, which is under the consent agenda. And personnel items, teaching assistant retirement. Recommended action upon the recommendation of the superintendent. Accept the retirement of Sarah Steiner, teaching assistant at the elementary school, effective June 27th, 2019. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Martha. A second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Johnny. Any discussion on this action? Roger's outlined it pretty well here, or very well, actually, so. If not, please vote. Six, 4, 0 against, so the motion passes. Other action items, the Teacher Appreciation Week proclamation. Recommended action is approve the proclamation recognizing Teacher Appreciation Week, which is May 6th through the 10th, 2019, as per the attached proclamation. May I have a motion, please?
Yes.
Thank you, John. Second?
Yes.
Dan? Thank you. Any discussion? 6-4-0 against. Teacher's proclamation passes. Thank you. Recommended action on the National School Nurse Day proclamation. Recommended action is approve the proclamation recognizing National School Nurse Day on May 8th, 2019, as per the attached proclamation. May I have a motion, please?
Make that motion.
Thank you, Liam. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions on recognition of the Nurses Day? If not, please vote. Six, 4-0 against. Next is the installment copier purchases resolution. That's under the consent. And moving right along to the Board of Cooperative Education, BOCES administrative budget for 2019-2020. The recommended action is be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts the administrative budget for the Board of Cooperative Educational Services for the sole supervisory district of Franklin, Essex, Hamilton counties in the amount of $2,418,265 for the 2019-2020 school year. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Martha. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on this item?
So how much input really does the individual school districts get in this?
We vote on it, which basically it is set and approved by the BOCES board. And then the school districts vote on it. We have in the past rejected it, just because of the percentage that it was increased. It oftentimes exceeded the tax cap, so this time it did not.
Okay.
So unfortunately, or fortunately, however it goes, Saranac Lake and Lake Placid are the two boards that generally, once it exceeded the tax cap, drew a line in the sand, so to speak. But it hasn't been rejected, to my knowledge.
No, because if you look at it, there was 9 schools within it, that Santa Lake and Lake Placid, I mean, are in the recent history, voted, rejected it, and still passed it,
Still have to pay
7-2.
it.
Right.
Okay.
But I truly believe that our actions in the past several years have made a
Oh, I think
difference.
so, yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I think pressure from the various stakeholders here, Lake Placid, Saranac Lake, as well as, Roger in meetings, with BOCES, really pushing and emphasizing the fact about the tax cap. Absolutely, yeah.
if there is no additional discussion, please vote. Okay, 6-4-0 against. It actually passes, thank you. The next is resolution for the election to the Board of Cooperative Education Services, BOCES Board of Education. Recommended action is be it resolved, the Board of Education casts its vote for the annual election of members of the Franklin Essex Hamilton Board of Cooperative Education Services for the persons indicated on the attached ballot. May I have a motion to approve this, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff. Second.
Yes.
Dan, thank you. Any discussion on this?
Is it gonna be held the same day as our election, or do we have to have a little other?
No, it's today.
No, this is today. This
So-
were,
I have the ballot here,
Okay,
and I'm gonna mark an X
okay,
next to each of the names, because that's what you just approved,
okay,
and I email it back to them tomorrow.
okay.
Did we just approve?
Well, nobody voted yet.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's been emailed already.
Okay, I haven't voted.
Yeah, sure.
I have to open it up for your vote.
so the
Yeah,
the
obviously.
3 are from Malone, Racket Lake, and St. Regis Falls. And Long Lake doesn't have a representative. That's the only district that.
Who's covering Long Lake? Is it one of the other? Nobody?
Nobody.
I thought they wanted.
There's 10 districts and only 9 seats.
Okay.
So there's always one
One left, yeah.
left out. And it was Liz from Racket Lake Racket Lake was not recognized
Yeah.
for a long time. But if no additional questions, let's vote, please. Okay, 6-4-0 against, thank you. Slow things down. Last meeting was what, 23 minutes? I don't want to get into a habit.
You might get people to show up and,
Well, robotics was supposed to be tonight.
That's right,
Right.
and we didn't have a superintendent's
Right,
report.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, the second read for the adoption of blood and alcohol testing bus drivers is consent, as is AV reductions. And the bank resolution adding signature. Under the special ed,
That wasn't consent, the bank resolution.
it was not.
No,
oh, I thought it was listed in the.
I thought it was too.
okay, I'll change it, but I did mark it that way. Sorry.
7H, right?
Yeah.
Done.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Special education, that was consent, and there is not a packet for next time, correct? Didn't see one.
I think you're
4:30.
correct.
Right. All right. Wish those cookies were here. Moving on to the adjournment phase. Next meeting date and location. The next Board of Education meeting hearing, there will be the first budget hearing, and that will be in Wilmington, May 7th, 2019. You've all been to Wilmington for me, I believe, right? Yeah, so. And then May 14th is a budget hearing here in Lake Placid. Then there's no meeting on the 21st due to the budget vote. Old agenda topics. One of these meetings, either the one in Wilmington, 7th or the 14th, I'll give a brief explanation of board orientation and my recommendations where we're going to go with that. For those of you who were not here last meeting, I did finish both webinars, and there was some interesting information on that, so I'll be giving you an update on that. New agenda items, Roger had wanted to put on there busing discussion that was brought up previous on the St. Agnes summer program.
Okay.
To discuss that a little bit more, so we'll move that on to next time as well. Does anybody have anything else, old or new? Did you finish up your?
I finished my sandwich, thank you.
Yes, we can adjourn now, right? We have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nice job.
I wish the interviews would have gone.
6:15. Well, thank you for your time.
I have to say, I wasn't disappointed in all of the outcome. I think you have this democracy, man. One group about one.
Right,
I'll be
right.
there, and that would
You
be-
know,
Right.
I'm
I'm excited for the
Back.
Wilmington
Yeah.
budget
You know,
hearing.
and
What's that?
I'm excited for the
Really,
Wilmington